Look around. You don't even have to look around. Look your own life. We are living the kingdom of hell. Instead of all of us could be living in the kingdom of heaven. Wherever you see, including your own life, there is stress, anxiety, suffering, frustrations, complexes, superior, inferior, all kind of mental diseases in a variable degrees. Everybody has it. Whatever happinesses we see are like temporary after achieving something and followed by suffering once it is lost. Even if you don't lose what you have acquired, whatever life does not take it away from you, death does. The whole life seemed to be empty. We come with joy. We live in the childhood. That's the best time we had, where there were no goals, no plans for the future. And as soon as we grow up a little bit, life changes. What happens? Desires. Desires are the creations of the mind. Mind is expert in creating desires. And desires create the spread between present and the future. Once the future is created, present becomes restless. Immediately the mind starts thinking of many ways to fulfill the goals which have come up in the mind. How do these goals come up in the child's mind? Child is playing, expressing his joy, his innocence, happiness, and some well-wishing uncle or parents instill one thought in his head: you should become a doctor, you should become an engineer, you should become a lawyer. Now, so far his joy and happiness was in the play. Now, the goal has been set in his mind, instilled from outside. And all his energy now is focused into becoming what has been instilled in his mind. All his energy, efforts gets focused and concentrated on this one goal. Not all goals are fulfilled. Many are unfulfilled. That brings frustration. And the goals are not that can be fulfilled in 1 day or 2 days. These are whole life goals. Many years of process will take before you can attain that goal. And these goals take a toll on you. It requires the time, resources, your energy. All these things ultimately help you to get to the goal. Meanwhile, his joy, his freedom, his happiness his innocence. Everything is gone. And he joins the rat race of the society. Everyone is stung by a bee of desire. And if it was only one desire, maybe it will be easy to cope with. We are stung with multiple bees, each one carrying a different desire, and we go mad. Imagine the swarm of honeybees attacking you. You will be dancing like a mad person. We all are mad, and we all are dancing with madness. There is race going on in the society. To achieve something. And then whatever we achieve, we give up in the end. And then pass away. And then the mind wonders what happened to the joy. What happened to the dance you could have done? A dance of happiness. The whole world is filled with desires. Desires to achieve something. The problem is everybody wants something. Everybody has the same desires. Minds are full of desires. Invariably, interactions happen. If you want to get into the med school, there are 150 seats and 5,000 applicants. Only 150 will succeed. Rest of them are doomed to suffer. Parents don't help because that's the only life they have known. They have suffered. And now they're giving advice to their children as if they themselves are in a very happy state. The kid listens to you because kid trusts you. Kid believes in you. So he follows your advice. And unknowingly, subconsciously, we are spreading the disease of desires everywhere, especially on the ones that we love the most. So the kid also gets stung with the same desire, and he keeps on working like a madman throughout his life. And he meets the same fate as we did. If he does become successful, we consider him successful. Yes, he's made a lot of money. And we believe that life is good, not knowing that now his mind is suffering with the same stress that you are suffering with. He has the same diseases of the mind: stress, anxiety, grief, anger, complexes. All these are present at the mind level. It's just like a pandemic of flu. We are spreading the disease called mind to our own children, our own friends. And no wonder the whole world is full of stress, anxiety, grief, suffering. What is the alternative? Even in the religion, we brainwash our children that yes, this is God, you believe in Him. By believing in your God, What have you achieved? Have you achieved joy? Have you achieved freedom? Have you achieved happiness, peace? On the contrary, we have achieved sufferings. And yet we want our children to follow the same religion as we have been. That is extension of our ego. We feel comfort knowing that he does not escape and choose his own way of life. We are afraid, if we are Hindu, we are afraid that our son will become Muslim or Christian or vice versa. The ego functions at the mind level. Again, acquiring, hoarding, protecting. This is the typical description of the mind. So the desires are located at the mind level. By creating the future, they take you away from the present. The eyes, the ears, the touch, the smell, everything has been given to you to enjoy this beautiful world. Where is the time for rising sun? Where is the time to look at the budding trees, the flowers, the nectars? Look at the animals. They coexist very well. I saw the deers this morning sitting in the woods. The sun was just coming up, sitting on dead leaves, enjoying the rising sun, the heat from the sun. You could see so much peace on their face. Where is the peace on us? We are programmed to go to work, achieve something. We want children to achieve something in life. Indirectly, we are affecting his life significantly. We are taking away his joy and happiness. If we did not interfere, he probably would choose a career of his own choice and will succeed in his own way, maybe not materially, but by pleasure, where his job, his career will become the pleasure itself. Thank God Einstein could pursue his own career instead of getting the traditional education where he was forced to study. He could not. He dropped out. But he pursued his passion, and he changed the history of mankind. What are we doing by giving the desires and the goals to our children? By forcing our religions onto them, we're taking away their freedom. Their soul is crushed, becomes almost non-existent. And we force him to join the rat race where the soul has no value. I met a nephrologist in one of the conferences. He was describing the state of his kid. In the morning, it was time for school. Everybody was running around. The bus was outside. They couldn't find Sam. Where is Sam? The whole world is looking for Sam. Then suddenly the father decides to go up into his room, and Sam is lying down, looking at the window. Father gets angry. He said, "What are you doing? Don't you realize you have time to go to school?" Sam says, Daddy, look at this butterfly that is sitting on the window pane. Isn't it so pretty? He was relishing with curiosity the beautiful colors of the nature's creation. And yet he was forced to give up everything, again to join the rat race. The disease called mind, disease called desires, is so prevalent that we cannot even think of another kind of world. So we join the rat race. At least it keeps us out of trouble. Once in a while, some great souls come. They break away from the routine and find their kingdom of heaven, like Jesus, like Mahavir, like Buddha. They went within and they found their kingdom of joy because they did not follow the traditional life. Even Jesus' mother wanted him to be a carpenter. But then he rebelled, he walked away, and he found his own kingdom of heaven. By forcing our ideas onto others, we are committing a spiritual crime. So go within all the impressions that have been on you, given to you by the society, your name, your ideas, your beliefs, everything came from outside onto a soul which is pure, unconditioned. Find it. That's where the joy is hiding. Without reaching to your soul, there is no peace, there is no joy. There is only a rat race at the mind level. If we are not in the race to make money, we are in the rat race to get the God, to achieve the God. We have replaced the money and we have replaced it with God. Even the people in the spiritual field, a lot of times are confused and they want to find God. They want to look for God. They want to achieve God. But again, the same method they have used to finish the goals in daily life, they're utilizing the same method within themselves in the religious field also. So even religion becomes a tradition to follow what their parents have followed, and then their parents, and then their parents. So tradition does not take you anywhere. The person who actually broke the traditions, walked away from the norm, became successful, and now, following him, we are creating the same traditions ourselves, from which he had walked away from. All the religions are started after a person who had broken his own traditions from before. Jesus was never a Christian. Mahavir was never a Jain. He was Hindu. Buddha was Hindu. He could have continued the same traditions of Hinduism, which was thousands of years old. Christ was a Jew. He could have continued and could have become a very good Jew, but he didn't. So following a person, his idealisms, is again established on us from outside. The real religion is to go within, find out what is your unconditioned existence. For that, you have to go through the battle with the mind. You have to analyze it, meditate, solve your riddles of the mind, the knots of your mind, one by one by one. Whatever you have acquired from outside, undo it. And the observer of all these things is your real soul. Then the dance will come in your life. Every rising sun will move you. Every gentle breeze will give you tremendous joy. Even your work will become a joy without worrying about the goals, the future results. You will immerse yourself in your present, because future is suffering. Have a good day.